Hello, dear Galactic family. Hope everybody's had a beautiful beginning of the yellow electric seed year that we have entered on the 26th of July. Before you watch this video, I also recommend you watch the previous video called the 26th of July 2021, Year of the Yellow Electric Seed. For this new year, together with my boyfriend and the amazing Teodora Porum, we organized a 2-day event in Orăștie Mountains, Romania, where we initiated almost 30 participants into the codes of the Dream Spell calendar and their galactic signatures. Also, my boyfriend Alex and myself held a cacao ceremony for the day out of time to set the intentions for the new year. As the new year started to unfold, I remembered my previous yellow crystal seed year. And while that year was so special for me from so many different perspectives, I left a relationship which had turned toxic. That was part of a karmic entanglement of many years of toxic relationship. I traveled by myself for the first time going to India. After that, I ended up in Mexico. And when I came back from my travels, I started publicly working with the Dream Spell calendar and making these videos and sharing my gifts with the world. But to reach that point, I also had to crawl in the dirt. The beginning of that year for me was going through the process of cracking open the shell of old beliefs and limitations, which pretty much feels as if you're going crazy. And it can also be a very painful process, especially if we're afraid to let go of the comfort that our self-imposed limitations bring, and if we don't trust the unfolding of this process. And so far, this year I had a pretty bumpy ride with a lot of physical and mental exhaustion. And now I'm at the point where I just want to run away in the mountains and take a break from everything, which I'm going to do. But anyway, back to the yellow seed and the meaning of this archetype. In the same way that a flower or a tree know how to grow and blossom, this archetype knows the way to manifesting the deep intentions of our soul into this world so that they can grow into beautiful manifestations. But in order for this process to take place, we need to allow the space for the opportunity to happen by letting go of our ego and our rational mind. Because the intentions, desires, and the dreams of our soul have an incredible intelligence that goes beyond the rational intelligence of the mind that we value so much in our society. For example, last yellow crystal seed year, at the beginning of the year after connecting with the Dream Spell calendar, I was talking with a friend saying that, I would love to one day visit Mexico. That is my new dream. If I were in that moment to rationalize and analyze how I'm going to get there, I probably wouldn't have made it there. But because I was simply in a state of open-heartedly following the flow of life wherever it led me, I ended up meeting someone that invited me to travel with him in Mexico for 2 months. And after this happened, my mind was in awe that something that I wished for with all of my being was manifested for me just a few weeks after I expressed it, and I found myself in the resonant month of the monkey of the yellow crystal seed year, walking on the footsteps of the Mayan pyramids. And it's important to understand that with the yellow seed, it's not so much about thinking how we're going to make it from A to B. It's more about feeling the possibility of our soul's dreams coming to the surface. One of the keys of manifestation is visualizing the end result as if we're already there. Because in the fourth dimension, the dimension of time, where all of time is happening all at once, we're already there. And just to clarify, another one of the keys of manifestation is also diving within our unconscious mind in order to find the unconscious patterns and beliefs that are actually sabotaging what we're consciously asking for. And once we let go of the rational mind that is limited when it comes to seeing the bigger picture, and we surrender to the wisdom of the heart and we follow its guidance rather than the guidance of the rational mind that is always going to let us know what is impossible and what we cannot do, that's when we surrender to the wisdom of the universe and we allow our intentions to be manifested in the best way possible. Because the higher mind, the mind of God, G-O-D, galactic ordering dynamic, is so much more efficient at finding the best way for us to manifest our dreams than our rational mind might be. But surrendering the ego and the mind is quite a challenging task since, like I said, this is what is actually cultivated in our society. So we must go through the painful process of breaking open the constraining shell of past patterns and old belief structures, which means that everything that we have learned about ourselves and the world around us needs to crumble down so that we can open up to the limitless and new possibilities that life offers us. The energy that guides us this year is the yellow star, the emissary of harmony. He's the one that teaches us how to harmonize ourselves through self-acceptance and love. And it all sounds beautiful. And I also in the beginning perceived the yellow star as a very gentle and loving energy. But let me just say that during the white magnetic wizard year, yellow star days would kick my butt. That is because what the yellow star teaches us is that perfection or harmony in the way that we humans see it is just a set of constructs of qualities and attributes that we find pleasing, and I might consider something to be harmonious, and for you it might be disharmony itself. Yellow Star teaches us that perfection and harmony is everywhere around us, and that the only reason we cannot see this is because there is disharmony within us, or because of our rigid and fixed expectations. So Yellow Star gives us the ability to let go of our limited definition of harmony and to be able to find the harmony within the disharmony and to find the unity within the dance of polarities. And this, for me, was a very difficult lesson to integrate. And I'm still integrating it, to be honest, because I'm quite the perfectionist and I'm very sensitive to what I perceive as being dissonant. So because of this, Yellow Star kept putting me in situations that I would define as disharmonious, pushing me to surrender and accept the way things are. And, I would reach the end of the day thinking that, hey, it might not have turned out how I wanted it to or expected it to, but it turned out exactly the way it was supposed to. So, Yellow Star guiding this process of growth, it will ask us to surrender, to let go of definitions of right and wrong, harmonious and disharmonious, which again means letting go of our mental definitions of how things should happen, how people should behave, how we should behave. The hidden power of this year is the red earth, the power of wisdom, presence, navigation, synchronicity, and grounding. For the Mayans, the highest form of wisdom was a human being's ability to be perfectly attuned and in harmony with its environment. Obviously, during the growth process of a plant, part of the wisdom contained within the seed, besides the hologram of its completion, is the plant's ability to be in harmony with its environment, to be part of this beautiful symbiotic relationship that exists within nature. And also, we as humans, in our growth process, surrendering to this process means being aligned with our environment so that our heart can listen to the whisper of the leaves, the song of the water, the melody of the birds, and to follow their guidance. When we are truly present, completely aware of the here and now, we will notice that our whole environment is speaking to us, guiding us. And in order to be fully conscious of what is happening around us here and now, guess what we need to let go of? The complementary energy of this year is the Blue Eagle, the guardian of the collective consciousness. He is the planetary visionary that offers us insights and visions regarding what the collective needs in order to grow and evolve. He flies high above, connecting with the divine wisdom of Father Sky, while keeping his gaze at all times down onto Mother Earth. He's the one that basically helps the yellow seed reconnect with its highest self, aligning our personal dreams and wishes with the dreams and wishes of the collective. And through this process of aligning our personal dreams with the wishes of the collective, then it's not just one individual's desires backing those dreams up, but the energy coming from the whole collective. Because the gifts within a seed are not meant for just one person, or they're not meant for the seed itself. They carry the desire to uplift all of humanity and to help us live a more harmonious life on this earth together. There was also this quote that said something like, nothing in nature lives for itself. And that is so true because, the apples that grow onto the apple tree, they end up being tasted by other living beings than the tree itself. Now, the challenge of this year is the White Wizard carrying the power of enchantment that takes us out of linear time and connects us with the wisdom and knowledge of the heart. And this, as I've been mentioning, is a very challenging energy for the yellow seed because it pushes the seed to surrender to the heart, the place from which our soul is trying to communicate with us. The wizard asks us to stop thinking about what we need to do, to stop making rational decisions all the time, because the mind is a mechanism that is meant to keep us safe at all costs. And, always being safe and comfortable means that we no longer grow, that we stagnate. So the wizard asks us to stop thinking and to start feeling, to start knowing through our hearts, not our mind. And the yellow electric seed is part of the white wind wave spell, the catalyzing unseen current that moves through all things. It's the movement of spirit that penetrates form to uplift, inspire, and purify. It represents the great mystery of life that cannot be understood by the rational and logical mind. It can only be felt and experienced directly. So it encourages the yellow seed to surrender the rational mind in order to dive into the mystery of life itself, knowing that invisible forces are always moving through our life, guiding and inspiring us. And the white wind also comes to support the movement of the electric tone, because the wind is an energy that is always on the move, always shifting and changing its direction. And so the electric tone, the tone of movement, change, and flow, invites us to dive into the universal river inside which all possibilities flow. It represents the basic principle of life that makes us move, change, and evolve. And it shows us that we are absolutely free to change the direction of our life if the path that we are on no longer serves our growth. And I want to end this video by sharing with you a poem that I wrote for the cacao ceremony on Day Out of Time, dedicated to the archetype of the yellow seed. Knock, knock, said the wizard, knocking on the hard shell of the seed. It's time for you to open and reveal your gifts, your dreams. Have no fear. Your heart is here, guiding every step you take. Have the courage and surrender to the wisdom you contain. Crack open the shell of old beliefs and limitations. Let your inner garden grow and bloom, and the magic shall flow through you. So, hope you have an amazing yellow electric seed year. If you have any further questions about the Dream Spell calendar, or if you're curious to find out more about your galactic signature through a galactic signature decoding session where we'll be diving into the archetypes of your kin, you can send me a message either on my Facebook page or on my email. Until the next time, wishing you an uplifting day. In Lak'Ech.